You all used to think Yandy and Mendeecees were the perfect couple, right? Think again. What just happened between them could seriously change how people see them. We're talking about a blow-up so big it might ruin careers and destroy whatever was left of their relationship. It went down in front of cameras, fans, and even some of Atlanta's most well-known faces. Drama was public, messy, and had everybody talking. For years, Yandy and Mendeecees were one of the main couples holding it down on love and hip-hop. They went through a lot: infidelity rumors, legal issues, money drama, you name it. And through all that, Yandy stayed by Mendeecees' side. She always gave off that ride-or-die image, never breaking a sweat, never leaving his corner. But behind the scenes, people close to the couple have been whispering for a while that Mendeecees hasn't exactly been loyal, and Yandy, she's been quiet but not clueless. She's been keeping some secrets of her own. Everything fell apart during what was supposed to be just another date night. They showed up at a high-end lounge in Atlanta looking sharp. Yandy wore a designer outfit and had her hair and makeup flawless. Mendeecees looked cleaned up with a fresh haircut. But according to people who were there, the vibe between them was icy. His face was tight with tension, and Mendeecees seemed glued to his phone like he was avoiding something. Then, things took a turn when Lil Scrappy walked in. If you've followed their history, you know that Mendeecees and Scrappy have always had this awkward friendship. They're not enemies, but they're definitely not close either. So when Scrappy walked over to their VIP section and gave Yandy a warm hug, everything shifted. Mendeecees' body language changed. He tensed up immediately. Once Scrappy walked away, Yandy leaned in and said something to Mendeecees. Whatever it was, it made him slam his drink on the table and yell, "So that's what we're doing now." Yandy didn't flinch. She calmly said, "I don't know what you're talking about," and that only made things worse. He stood up, angry, and told her not to act like she didn't know what was going on. Yandy rolled her eyes and told him, "If you're that worried, go ask Scrappy." At that point, Mendeecees' face turned bright red. His hands started shaking as he leaned in and asked her what she meant by that. Yandy, keeping her cool, simply replied, "You know exactly what it means." That's when security began to step in. Mendeecees reached out and grabbed her arm, not aggressively, but just enough for everyone to notice. Yandy immediately pulled away and snapped, "Don't touch me." Then he completely lost control. He flipped the entire table. Glasses, bottles, everything went flying. Security rushed in as Mendeecees started yelling, accusing Yandy of humiliating him. Yandy didn't react the way you'd expect. She just smirked and said, "Maybe you should ask Scrappy." As security dragged him out of the venue, still shouting, Scrappy reappeared.com as ever. That made things worse. Mendeecees shouted, "It's him, isn't it? You've been seeing Scrappy behind my back." Yandy didn't say no. She looked him straight in the eye and told him, "Maybe you should have been paying more attention." Scrappy didn't seem fazed at all and replied, "It is what it is, bro." Mendeecees tried to charge at him, but security had already pulled him too far away. Behind closed doors, Mendeecees isn't taking any of this lightly. He's furious. Sources say he immediately contacted his lawyers and told them he wants to cut Yandy off completely, emotionally and financially. He's feeling betrayed by both her and Scrappy. Meanwhile, Yandy doesn't look like she's even trying to fix anything. The next morning, she posted something on Instagram that made everything worse. It was a story with the words, "What's done in the dark always comes to light." People started connecting the dots real quick. Now, everyone's wondering, how long has this been going on? Did Yandy really cheat on Mendeecees with Scrappy? And why is Scrappy acting like this is no big deal? What's even crazier is that this whole situation might just be getting started. Word is that Mendeecees is planning to speak out publicly and tell his version of what went down. Up not just his image but the whole love and hip-hop franchise. What happened next only added more fuel to the fire. After Mendeecees was kicked out of the lounge, Yandy didn't rush out behind him. She stayed. Not only that, she ordered another drink and kept chatting with Scrappy like nothing had just happened. Witnesses said Scrappy leaned in and whispered something to her that made her laugh out loud. Think about that. If Yandy was sitting there comfortable, laughing and chilling with Scrappy right after her man got escorted out, that tells you everything. This wasn't a new situation. Whatever's going on between them has clearly been building up for a while. Later that night, Yandy and Scrappy were seen arriving at a luxury hotel in downtown Atlanta. Scrappy had his arm around Yandy's waist. They didn't seem to care who was watching. The next morning, Yandy posted another Instagram story. This time, she was in a car with Scrappy driving. The caption? The same as before. "What's done in the dark always comes to light." That post went viral. Fans were in shock. Comments started flooding in. Is Yandy really with Scrappy? So Mendeecees wasn't being paranoid after all. People couldn't believe what they were seeing. Even blogs picked up the story. The Shade Room, TMZ, Hollywood Unlocked. Everyone was talking about it. Headlines like Yandy spotted with Scrappy after Mendeecees meltdown were everywhere. Twitter exploded. People were clowning Mendeecees. Yandy really left him for Scrappy. Scrappy out here breaking up homes now. It was brutal. And while Yandy and Scrappy were out here acting unbothered, Mendeecees was at home fuming. According to people close to him, when his manager called to ask about the photos of Yandy and Scrappy at the hotel, Mendeecees lost it. He started pacing and shouting, "She really thinks she can play me like this." That's when he decided to fight back. He made a call to a friend who runs a major gossip blog in Atlanta. He was ready to spill everything. According to someone close to the situation, Mendeecees has been holding on to some serious receipts. He reportedly told this insider that Yandy and Scrappy's involvement goes back months. While Mendeecees was out handling business and trying to build their brand, Yandy was allegedly sneaking around behind his back. What's worse, Mendeecees says he has the proof: actual text messages from Yandy's phone that clearly show her setting up private meetings with Scrappy. Many of these messages were sent while Mendeecees was out of town. It wasn't just one or two meets, it was a pattern. This betrayal cuts deep for Mendeecees because he trusted Yandy with everything: his heart, his brand, his future. And now he's realizing she may have been playing a long game behind his back. To make it even messier, Erica Banks apparently knew about all of this. Sources claim Erica tried to warn Mendeecees, hinting that something shady was happening between Yandy and Scrappy. But at the time, Mendeecees brushed her off, assuming she was just stirring the pot. Now it's hitting him: Erica wasn't starting drama. She was trying to give him a heads up. What really pushed Mendeecees over the edge wasn't just the affair. It was how openly Yandy and Scrappy were carrying on. They weren't even trying to hide it from people in their social circle. Word had clearly gotten around. Friends, colleagues, everyone was whispering, and he was the last to know. That kind of public embarrassment is hard to shake off. Mendeecees isn't the type to sit quietly and take that kind of hit to his pride. People around him say he's already moving fast, lining up a major blog interview to tell his side of the story and set the record straight. He's also reportedly planning to confront Scrappy directly at the next Love and Hip Hop reunion. If that goes down on camera, it's going to be one of the wildest moments the show has ever seen. The real question on everyone's mind is, how long did Yandy think she could get away with this? Or at least defend herself? And how did Scrappy get caught in the middle of all this without even acting fazed? Mendeecees may have stayed silent publicly, but behind the scenes, he's putting together a plan. Calculated, he doesn't want to just speak out. He wants to make a real impact. Meanwhile, producers at Love and Hip Hop are rushing to get cameras in place. They know this drama could send ratings through the roof, and they're not about to miss the opportunity. Everyone involved is preparing for a chaotic season, but the aftermath just keeps getting worse. After those hotel photos of Yandy and Scrappy hit the internet, fans completely lost it. Social media turned into a battleground. Some fans defended Yandy, suggesting maybe Mendeecees did something to push her away. Others had Mendeecees back, saying Yandy took it way too far by hooking up with Scrappy, someone so close to their circle. For Mendeecees, this wasn't just about being cheated on, it was about being humiliated in front of the world. He felt disrespected on a level that made everything else feel small in comparison. According to someone close to him, Mendeecees went into revenge mode fast. He's not even hurt anymore, the source said. He just wants to hit back. His first move, calling Mona Scott Young the executive producer of Love and Hip Hop, reports say he told her straight up, either Scrappy goes or I go. But Mona, always chasing the biggest storyline, saw the opportunity. Instead of removing, with cameras rolling, it's going to be pure chaos. But that's not all. Mendeecees is also going after Scrappy's career. Insiders say he's working with a legal team to file a lawsuit, not for the cheating, but for emotional damage and business interference. Mendeecees claims that after the scandal blew up, a few business deals he had lined up started falling apart. He says Scrappy's involvement with Yandy has messed up his reputation and affected his income. And get this, he might be able to back it all up. Sources claim Mendeecees has messages and receipts showing Yandy was using money from their shared business accounts to fund her trips and outings with Scrappy. If that turns out to be true, it's not just a messy breakup, could be fraud. Financial misconduct like that could bring serious consequences. If the case holds up in court, Yandy and Scrappy could both be in serious trouble. Despite everything, Yandy isn't exactly keeping a low profile. The day after the hotel pictures dropped, she went on Instagram Live. She was sipping wine and vibing to Beyoncé's Irreplaceable with the caption, "Moving on." Fans were quick to react, saying she was being shady and throwing salt in Mendeecees' wounds. And then there's Scrappy. He posted a selfie with the caption, "Loyalty over everything." That one really set people off. The comments were full of backlash, with fans calling him out for being anything but loyal. It was like he was trolling Mendeecees, and it didn't sit right with a lot of people. Mendeecees isn't backing down. He's reportedly been in touch with outlets like TMZ and the Shade Room to schedule an exclusive interview. He wants to drop everything's secret rendezvous details, business betrayals, and even records showing how Yandy misused their funds. He wants to clear his name and make sure Yandy and Scrappy's actions don't go unchecked. Scrappy, on the other hand, could be facing major setbacks. Mendeecees is supposedly trying to block him from any future involvement with love and hip-hop, and from signing new music deals. It's a power move, and Scrappy's people are definitely feeling the heat. Even though Yandy is playing it cool online, sources say she's starting to feel the pressure. Behind the scenes, she's reached out to Mona Scott-Young privately, trying to get things under control, but Mona sees dollar signs. This kind of real-life chaos is gold for the show, and she's reportedly already planning a special sit-down episode to air it all out. And just when you thought it couldn't go any further, Mendeecees is reportedly working on a diss track. Yep, a full-on track aimed at both Yandy and Scrappy. People who've heard parts of it say it's savage. One line goes something like, "You smiled in my face while lying in his bed. You thought I wouldn't find out, baby, you misread." Another line supposedly throws shade about how he helped her rise up, only to get stabbed in the back. Apparently, Scrappy heard about the diss and wasn't too happy. He told a friend, if he drops that, it's war. So now we might be looking at a full-blown feud, not just in court or on TV, but in the studio too. So now everyone's waiting to see what comes next. Is Yandy really sticking with Scrappy, or is she just playing along for the moment? Will Mendeecees actually go through with the lawsuit, the interview, and the diss track? Or is this just all building up to one massive love and hip-hop storyline? One thing is clear, this drama isn't slowing down. And when Mendeecees finally speaks out and drops that track, it's going to shake things up all over again. The next reunion episode is already being teased as the most explosive in love and hip-hop history. No one knows how it'll end, but it's obvious that nothing will ever be the same again.